Now that we have basic text that we can display on a page, now that we have images, which again are the most important thing that your user, your audience, your reader is going to use to evaluate whether or not the context of this web page actually refers back to what it is that they're looking for here. The next most important thing we have is colors. Now, we can do colors in multiple different ways. The first way we're going to look at them are with what are known as inline styles. So an inline style has this, the style equals, and then stuff inside of the quotation marks inside of a tag. And I can assign style to any kind of my tag. So whether or not it is the whole body of my my web page, I can put style in there. We're going to style the Bojangles out of this page. I can style paragraphs. I can style H1s, H2s, H3s, anything up and down in my website here, as long as I add that inline style property and then stuff inside of the double quotes. So here's the unordered list we did before. What I'm going to do is give a foreground and a background color. So the foreground is the text, the background is whatever is behind the text. So here, and foreground color we just refer to as color. So color blue, that means that my text is going to be blue, and background color yellow, you can see that they are separated by semicolons in between the properties. So property 1 is color, property 2 is background color, and in between I have these semicolons between my property and my value. So my property is color and the value is blue. I have a colon rather, and then a semicolon in between the two of those. Let's just go ahead and run that. You can make up for my mistake there. There is the foreground color. So the color is blue, the background color is yellow. And here I just did it in the reverse order. So I have a background color of blue and a foreground color of yellow. That's already doing a little bit to add some color here to our pages. So we can do more than that. We can come back through here and color the entire body of our page. So style equals, and then remember we've got the beginning and the end quotation marks. That is not going to be filled in for you by Replit because we actually still have the style section over here. We're going to see that in a future video. So this you actually do have to type out the hard way. Style equals opening quote, closing quote. Now whatever we do in the middle of that happens here. So remember background color. Now as soon as I typed back, it filled out for me. Replit filled out for me what I can choose. And if I hit down and enter, it's going to automatically fill in background color. I'm going to add a space and a colon. Now let's pick something, silver, and I'm going to add my semicolon after that. If we run it, you'll notice that my background color has changed. Now, there's a few different ways that we can represent color. There are 256 colors by name that are baked into HTML and CSS, but it's not quite exact necessarily. Silver did not produce for me. I don't think it produced for me a color that's really silver, right? This is kind of gray. If I was to do red, for example, this is going to be obnoxious. That is red, and it's horrible. Now, you can like red. I personally don't mind red. I like red for my cars. I don't think that this is a particularly compelling website. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add silver back here so that I'm not burning out my retinas with that horrible design decision. We do actually have other ways of identifying color. What we've got here is the HTML color picker. Now there's a ton of these. W3 Schools is actually the foundation that helps put together part of well, it's one of the foundations. Let's be fair. One of the foundations that helps put together the core of HTML and CSS. So W3 Schools is a great place to come for absolutely compliant color picking. Now, we can, over here on the left-hand side, pick a base color. So if you run around this wheel, you'll notice that right underneath that base color changes. So I'm going to look for something that looks silvery-ish. I'm pretty sure silvery-ish is a color. Let's pick a nice light blue maybe. So over here, I can change that value just a little bit. So I can go up here to this very, very light blue. I can come down here to this very, very dark blue that looks black-ish to me. I can always reset it by clicking on the color again and then coming to pick something. You'll notice here we have a color code. So that number, so the hash, and then the code, this identifies a hexadecimal value for color that we have. Underneath in the parens is RGB. Underneath in the parens is the HSLA color that we can use. Any one of these three we can simply copy. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy my hex code. I'm going to come back to formatting with color. I'm going to replace silver with that hex code. And when I run it, you'll notice I get my lighter blue background behind there. The benefit to using a hexadecimal color, the benefit to using, so again, hexadecimal is that that EF or E6F2FF. You would never ever have to know that in a million years. So I can come back through here and I can pick a different color to paste into my background. I'll paste or copy rather the RGB color back into my code as the background. There we go. I've pasted it there and we'll go ahead and run it. And here is my aqua color. The benefit to using hex or RGB or HSL is that I can be super granular. I don't have to pick silver, which wasn't quite right. I can pick exactly the right color that I want for that. And it really does. Now this, I would make the argument that this is making an impact. It may not be making a positive impact, but it is making an impact on this page. So after images, color is the next biggest impact that you can add to a page, and we can do that simply with the style element. And we can impact the foreground, which is the text, and the background, which is the, you guessed it, background of our page.